Yeah, I'm feeling connected to my higher self. I always seem to find this version when I'm by myself. I had no problem being alone, but they tell me every king needs a throne. But I don't want no fancy chair crown, I want a home. Thought you wanted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 21st episode of the Julio and Ice podcast. It's been a little bit, but we're back, and I'm back with the icy one. Matty Ice is freshly back from Florida. Played a couple of rounds of golf. I feel like he needed the mental break. Matty, talk to me. How you feeling, baby?
I'm feeling good, bro. I feel like we both needed a little, vacation after the rough year that we had. So I feel good. I feel refreshed, feeling like somebody, as you would say.
Yes, you are. You are somebody, baby.
Well, we got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, a lot. It was a lot of hoop stuff. In this episode, we're going to just keep it between me and Maddie. We got some more great guests coming up in the next couple of weeks, but I feel like throwing a sample of you and I together in just one pod would be good too. Just to get everyone caught up on our news, some updates, and what we got looking forward. But Maddie, the last time I checked in, I think we missed a pod because of me, because I had to coach AAU basketball.
Talk about that.
For those who are just listening on iTunes, I'm just smiling because it was embarrassing. It was just strictly embarrassing, and the thing about me is, I kind of stepped down away from the AAU game as a coach because, just because I felt like I wanted to try out some different endeavors. So, as I mentioned before on the pod, I'm an assistant director for the Connecticut Passion, and it was our last tournament last weekend. Was it, Maddie? Was it last?
Yeah, it was the last weekend.
It was the last weekend of our AAU season, and it was last weekend, last Saturday. So I already knew I had to coach the team prior, so I kind of geared myself up all week, getting ready for it as if I was Ty Lue. I was in my playbook. I made sure I got a nice low shape up. I brought out the old dry erase board, and I was just getting ready all week with my squad. And then the schedule comes out, and it ends up saying that we have to play 2 EYBL teams. Now, for that new language for the old AAU guys, a EYBL team means they're probably the real deal. And it was an interesting day, to say the least. It's Saturday. We're at Western New England. 10 o'clock game. It's a 10:15 game, and it's 11:30 game. So I get the back-to-backs. So I get the back-to-back coach in AAU, which is fantastic. So I show up early. I got my backpack on. I'm kind of walking in, kind of getting ready, and then I look across. So we're playing at, I think it's Team New England. Pretty good team. We end up playing okay. I think we lose by 8 or 9. So I'm thinking, okay, we got a nice game coming up next. I think we can have some momentum going into game 2. But then I forgot to look at the schedule of who we were playing. So it looks on the roster, and it's you guys know the BABC EYBL team. So it got ugly. Long story short, it got extremely ugly, Maddie. And that's not the part I want to talk about, really. I think the part that kind of made me just be like, man, like I'm glad I'm just coaching high school basketball and training and doing other things, because we get our shit pushed in 40 points. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's 6'7", 6'9". They're doing a 1-2-2 full court press. I burned 2 timeouts. You only get 3. I burned my first 2 in like the first 7 minutes. Yeah, I mean, not even just because of that, because I think the one thing, and I can go down in a downward spiral, but the one thing that frustrates me when it comes to high school athletes, it's my kids, and again, they're going to hear me, and I told us on the hoe, they just seemed intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's normal to see somebody who's 6'7", 6'9", and kind of be like, oh shit, guys are pretty big. It's like, what am I going to do? But after my second time out, what I'm literally drawing up how to defeat the generic 1-2-2 full court press, it becomes frustrating. It just became extremely frustrating. So my kids were intimidated. They were extremely intimidated. But that's not the part that kind of like made me want to be out of the game. So the game's over. It's a 40 ball. They start, once it starts becoming an alley-oop fest and an off the backboard windmill fest. That's when I started getting a little ridiculous, a little uncomfortable. Still coaching my guys, still kind of making sure we're playing to the end of the whistle. We're playing to the end, not quitting. That's just the way I roll. I look over at the other bench as the clock's ticking down, and there's no real emotion from the coaches. They're not rah-rah guys. They're really well-coached group, with all due respect to BABC. No complaints about them whatsoever. But I look over at the bench, and I didn't notice it because I was so locked in the game, Maddie. Like I was just trying to obviously compete. And I look over, and our guy, Leo Papel, is sitting on the front and on the bench. I didn't know he was there the entire time.
Yeah, he
He's
doesn't say
sitting,
much.
he doesn't say much, but this is the part that made me be like, you know what, Julio, thank God, I'm happy that this is the last tournament. He was sitting on the bench the entire time, and
With
he
his
had
dog.
with his dog around his neck, Maddie.
I knew where this was going, right?
I was just like,
Did he have his flip flops on?
I didn't look that far down, but Maddie, I look over and the coach is up and he's standing, he's talking, he's coaching, he's still professional. They were professional over there at BABC, no complaints. And I just look over, I'm like, damn, I just got my shit pushed in with the guy who has a dog around his neck. Like, this is bad. Let me get out. Let me escape through the back. So I just end up just telling my guys, so I just tell my guys, let's talk in the hallway. We're gonna talk in the hallway. And I gave him the quick 5-minute speech of whatever.
Funny.
And then I just snuck. Maddie, I couldn't go back in there. The guy just beat me with a dog around his neck.
Bro, I knew you were going because the last time I either coached against him or I saw him coaching, and that's what he was doing. He was just chilling, sitting on the bench. Someone else was coaching, but he had the dog with him, and he had the thong sandals on, flip flops, bro.
What a legend! What a legend!
Yeah, that's legendary.
He sat in the front seat, and I did not look over there once. I didn't look because I was just like, damn, how am I gonna get over this press? And literally, I should have been saying to myself, how am I gonna live with myself after losing to a guy? I think he had a Gucci scarf on, and the dog was in the Gucci scarf. I don't know. Much respect to Leo Papel because he just gave me a good old wave. Like, hey man, good stuff, whatever. But
I want to go back to something you said in that before you got to that part with the dog. You said about your kids being intimidated. I think that's something that it's very common, especially with you look across and someone else on the other team's like 6'7". I remember that happened maybe a couple of years ago when I was coaching. It was middle school, so this kid was like 6'4", 6'5". He was tall, and all the kids were watching him warm up. I'm like, listen, if that's how you're gonna be, you're already gonna lose. You're already gonna lose. Why should we play the game? How do you even know if he's good?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When anybody listening out there, when you're warming up, don't look across to see who's on the other side. That don't matter. And who cares if he's 6'5", 6'6", 6'7"? That doesn't automatically mean you're a good player.
I agree.
And if you play intimidated, you already lose. You might as well just not play.
And I think my group, they were looking at the schedule because I think it came out Wednesday or Thursday. But my group was looking at the schedule, and we're in a little group chat, and then you could just hear him. Are we really playing? BABC? And I just didn't respond. It's because it's young. And again, I try to remove myself from that without kind of being a dickhead and be like, guys, you might as well just play for them or just join the fan club. This is basketball. You're gonna see guys 7-footers. You're gonna see crazy athletes as long as you play the game. So, yeah, I agree. And you know what? Luckily for me, Maddie, on Sunday I had to do a consolation game, but I coached the younger group and 15, 16s. It's a consolation game, so I was just happy about the younger kids just competing. You know what I mean? We were playing a decent team from Connecticut. They had some guards, but my guys, I got 7 kids. They're there on a Sunday at 11 o'clock. Consolation game, and they're fucking working hard, man. So, the weekend wasn't lost. To say that, I was proud of both groups, but more or less, I enjoy coaching that young group just because they were out there with a chip on their shoulder. They wanted to win, and they still love the game. So, once you get older, Maddie, I'm so happy we didn't grow up in this generation, man, because it's just when we lost that game against BABC, it was everyone went on their phones. It's just it didn't happen. I just couldn't. That's Zach O'Brien said it in his. I want it more than you do. I want this shit. I want to win more than you do. I care about basketball more than you do.
That's why AAU is not fun, man.
Exactly. Needless to say, I'm so excited that the season's over. I'm strictly working on, individual and group trainings, and um,
Did you
I'm
get you getting your thing off the ground?
yeah. So it's all about just waiting for the paperwork to be confirmed now, and that's usually a 2 or 3 month process. So I'm outside with the track. I'm in the gym a little bit with some kids. Gotta probably working like 5-6 hours a day doing individual group stuff. I'm trying to do some. We're doing camps at the end of the summer, and just bouncing around, man. Summer's flying. It's about to be July. It's holy shit, right?
Jesus. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I need to slow down a little bit.
No, I agree. Um, can are we on pace for the nation?
Of course. What do you mean we're on pace?
I'm excited. I don't know. I just
Yeah,
want to talk about it. I'm just so excited for it, man. I'm ready to hoop.
yeah. And I'm in the process now of just figuring out, who's in, like what teams are confirmed in. So the money, team entry fee rosters, that stuff has to start coming in. That way we can iron out who's in, how many teams are going to have. My goal is to have 24, but if I can't have 24, it has to be either has to be exactly 24 or 20. But I'm pushing to expand it to 24 if I get enough teams. But if I can't get there, then we'll just go with how we traditionally have done it with 20.
Okay.
But yeah.
Director of the year. Director of the year.
Yeah, it should be good. I think people are excited. I mean, I definitely have heard from some new, I guess, teams, or there's been the same group of guys that have reached out for teams, but there's also new teams, so that's always exciting, and getting new blood into the tournament. But I think people are just trying to get back to playing, and I played pickup last.
How was that?
Well, shooting will always be like riding a bike. It's more of the running up and down the court after the first game. You know how you like, it's weird. Like when you play like the first, I don't know, 6 times up and down, you're like,
You're
like
burning.
you're burning. But then all of a sudden you catch your second win by like the third, fourth game. It's good. I need it. I mean, I'll never be back in basketball shape, but it's good to get up and down. But it's funny just talking to the guys that are playing pickup, man. They're like, I haven't played in like a year. It's crazy because of obviously the pandemic. So it was just really good to be back out there and just playing ball. For me, it's like the best form of exercise. I hate going for runs. Like, this is boring. Like when you play hoop, you are working out pretty hard for about hour and a half. You're not even thinking about it. I'm a little sore right now, but that's good.
Did you play out of the elbows, or were you kind of just running and gunning, stopping and shooting trail threes?
I just shoot every time we get the ball. You know what the funny thing is? I was telling shout out to Marcus if he's listening. I was playing with Marcus too, and I was saying to him, was like the funny, you forget what pickup's like, right? So the first game I play, I'm like, I touched the ball like 2 or 3 times, and the dudes I'm playing with are not that good, and I'm like,
jacking?
Yeah, and I was like, I forget, I'm trying to do the right thing, make the right pass. Then after that game, I was like, you know what? Every time I get the ball, it's going up.
I'm working on my stuff.
Yeah, as Julio, actually, I did say that to Marcus too. I was like, I'm just working on my stuff. Like, I don't care.
I don't got time to work on being a good teammate right
now.
Yeah.
Well, you know how it is. It's like, why am I the one setting screens and stuff for people that can't even do anything? You should all be setting screens for me.
I agree. I took that approach later on. Like, I guess during the pandemic, because I was still trying to play pickup during the pandemic a little bit, and I would go to parks, and I just got lost in my own traditional way. Moving it, making the pitch ahead. Like you said, setting screens. Talking on defense, and nobody was doing that, and they were shooting. Nope. So my mentality, like you said, from that, I think it was July of the pandemic, I was like, I'm fucking not passing. I'm not passing to no one.
Yeah, it's just because it's in our DNA, right, to play the right way but you got to realize sometimes when you're playing pickup, you're not playing with, you're lucky, I guess I should say, if you're playing with guys that know how to play, then it makes pickup better. But like, they don't know me. Like most of the people that I was playing with, I don't know them, and most of them really don't know how to play ball. So it's an interesting thing, but you forget. Like I just forgot. Since I hadn't played pickup in so long, but it's good. I like the exercise, and I'm looking forward to the tourney.
Should be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears then, since we're talking a lot of hoop stuff. We missed a couple of the playoffs to talk about.
Yep.
Brooklyn loses. The Suns advance. They're 3-1 right now in the Western Conference Finals. But I wanted to talk about because I know you said it, and I just want to hear more from you. Ben Simmons, that was a big thing. Um, Listen, I think we all knew what type of player he was. I think we all knew that. I think right now the reason why it's so magnified is because it's the playoffs and because Philly's the 1 seed and they were expected to win. Um, do you think the critics? You think they're paying a little too much on
I
Ben?
mean,
I knew he was always going to be somebody who couldn't shoot the rock. He just has
he's
God-given
yeah.
ability,
He's I mean, I think people have been harsh, but I also, I don't blame them for being harsh, I guess, because people say he's a superstar. But yeah, it's instant reaction to something that just happened. But I would say this. He needs to get out of Philly because that fit just doesn't work. To me, he needs to be like a guy, like if the Warriors could make a push for him, like he'd be awesome playing with like Curry, Clay, like because he to me he's like a better version of Draymond Green, I would say, in the sense of like I think Ben Simmons is a good defender. I think he's a better passer than Draymond. I think Draymond's tougher than him, but that's the way I look at Ben Simmons. He's not a scorer. Like he'll never be that. The dude can't shoot, and I've always said that since I first saw him. And I told you the reason I never really liked him a lot as just like a player is that when he was at LSU, like he couldn't even make the tournament, and I was like, is this dude really that like a bona fide stud? Like Steph Curry made a run in the tournament with Davidson. Like this dude was at LSU and he didn't even make the tournament. And you're supposed to be like the next coming of LeBron. I was like, nah, like that dude ain't like that. So I don't know. I think the biggest thing that will always stick with him was that play where he caught that pass and it was him literally a layup with Trae Young under the basket. And he didn't go score. He passed it.
When he passed it.
I think that will always stick with him. Like that's a really bad look.
Just looks intimidating. Looks afraid.
Yeah, but I think the Sixers lost because the Hawks are a fun team. Like they can they can score, they can compete, and I kind of blame like some of it like too on Joel Embiid. Like Joel Embiid's a beast, but like just the way he plays sometimes, like he's just around the perimeter too much. Just go in the paint, bro. Like when you want to go, no one can stop you. But he doesn't. I feel like he's just not a killer like that.
I think he was trying to stretch out Clint Capella. I think he was trying
put
to
his ass in the post.
But he was averaging like 28 and 11.
I know, but like that
with a torn meniscus. He get a torn meniscus.
Oh, it's torn.
Yeah, he's like playing on it. Like I mean, I get what you're saying. Like Joel Embiid was supposed to be an MVP this year. He was supposed to be first team. Like
win that series, bro.
Win that series. I agree, 100%.
At home, Game 7, win that, bro.
I agree, 100%. The Atlanta Hawks against the Knicks wasn't a fluke then because the Atlanta Hawks are nice.
Yeah, honestly, they're starting to find their fall. I don't know. Trae Young, man, he's nasty, bro. He really is.
I know people are mad about the antics and shit, but it's just like I'll live with that, man, because he can play.
But that honestly he's like a good villain. It makes people hate you. You either like him or hate him. I like it.
The icy stuff. That's it. That should be your logo. That should be your stuff. That's nice.
Yeah,
with that, I don't want to cut you off. I just wanted to just so I have it in my brain. Do you see how the way they're guarding him though? I think even Philly was doing the same thing. Milwaukee in the first game,
just
like
trap him.
They're in drop coverage. Like, duh, if he gets Brook Lopez on a switch, he's gonna put him in the blender.
Kill him.
Like what? Like I don't. And somebody I was talking in a group chat. Somebody was saying was like, that's their principles is drop coverage. So why change your principles this late in the season? It's like you better make adjustments. Like, I
think the NBA. I mean, how I want to say this. I think Tyronn Lue gets a lot of shit sometimes, but like I think he's one of the best coaches at making adjustments because I think in the playoffs, you can say whatever you want about NBA coaches. Like the players really do win the games, but like in the playoffs, you see who's good coaches because they make adjustments in series. And the Clippers have done that. And, I know it's going a little off topic, but like that's why they beat the Jazz. They've been down 2-0 multiple times already, but he's made adjustments and they've won series, even without Kawhi. So I to back to your point is like, I don't know if that's what you've played the whole year. What, you're just gonna stick with what you do? Like, I don't know. I don't love that, right? Because just put it in a simple principle. It's like I love man to man, but if I need to play zone to win a game, I'm gonna play zone. Like, why would I
Yeah.
try to be like,
Well,
oh,
the one,
this is what we do. We're gonna stick to our principles. It's like, well, do you want to win, or do you need to make an adjustment because you can't play that type of defense? Yeah,
yeah.
that's coaching. Like, you have to adjust. And I don't know. I guess that's the knock on Doc Rivers, because that's been his
Oh,
issue.
good transition, because I wanted to ask you, is he really this Hall of Fame? Like, he is a Hall of Fame coach, granted,
Yeah,
but
he is, but
but
I think his whole thing.
uh,
No, his whole thing has been like
what's his
he
thing? I didn't know.
like he's a perfect coach for like if you have a bunch of superstars, I think, and he can, be a player's coach, right? He's good like that. But I don't X's and O's. I don't. I've never liked that kind of stuff. I never thought he was like. To me, he's like the opposite of Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is a huge X's and O's, that kind of stuff, but not really can't really relate to players or like have control of the locker room. Where I feel like Doc does at some extent.
He
So,
has a
but yeah,
respect. Yeah,
but
people
yeah,
have
I mean, you could easily say he's overrated now. I mean, when the hell's the last time he's been to the NBA Finals, when he was on the Celtic, coaching for the Celtics? So he's had the teams. You shouldn't lose that series to the Hawks. You have more talent, but
Yeah,
I think the
I agree.
overall thing is you got to trade Ben Simmons. He's got to go. I just don't think it's a fit.
You
Build
just move
around.
Shake Milton over to the point.
Yeah. Well, you just
Shake.
shake. Remember someone trying to trade you in that fantasy basketball league? You're like, so what? I'm good. I'm good with Shake Milton.
Yeah, I like Shake, but you're not gonna try to offer me Shake Milton for Chris Paul. Like, I don't know. It's not a good switch. Um,
What do you think about what was the other series? Oh, how the Brooklyn Bucks series ended.
um, it was entertaining. It was extreme because you was watching KD every night just go sick, and
Yo,
I
he's
think
nasty,
I
bro.
I really wish that he would have won just so I can keep watching him play. I mean, it's not to knock on the teams now in the league. Like the Clippers, you just know they're not going to win without
But
Kawhi.
like I'm with you. Like I wanted Brooklyn to beat the Bucks, not because I didn't want Brooklyn to win the NBA Finals. Like I'm all set with them. But like to your
Mhm.
point, I wanted to keep watching KD. That dude's nasty. But because I don't enjoy watching Giannis. I think he, and this is not exactly how I feel, but I think he's kind of whack in the sense like I don't think he sucks, but like I hate watching him play because he's got no skill, bro. He's just a big dude out there just bodying people, and the NBA is so
He's a
soft.
bully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
he's
is a
not
bully.
even really a bully. Like I seen him in game one, he was shooting fadeaways on Trey Young. Like, dog, what are you doing?
Ugh. And he switched on him. I saw that in the paint. Ugh.
He's
Yeah, that
he's
was a
just
bad
he's
shot.
just hard to watch. I like Chris Middleton. I like Drew Holiday. Like I think they're good players. But like Giannis, like I think it's kind of that's why I'm rooting for the Suns because I want them to win.
Hmm.
I
It's gonna be
I
fun.
I
I
can't I
hope
can't
it's
watch the
fun.
Bucks win.
I think that series is going to go to 7. I think the Bucks win in 7, just because I
Yeah.
feel like Trey's got more stuff in his bag. But going back to the Brooklyn series, it was a lot of stuff going on in there. It was a lot of just it was just questionable stuff that was happening all the time. Like there was a point where probably like 7 possessions or 8 possessions in a row, James Harden couldn't move, so he
Yeah,
would inbound it.
Jesus.
He was inbounding it to KD, and KD was literally going one on one from the time he walked the ball up to go one on one. It
Now
was so crazy.
it was crazy to me because like I give James Harden some respect because like obviously he wasn't 100%, he was out there, but isn't
Mhm.
that at some point like it's better off for him not to be out there and have someone else that can actually like move?
I agree.
He just
just
seemed
looked
like
like
a
he
he just
wasn't
see
moving.
yeah, he just seemed like a detriment to the team at that point. Like I give you respect for going out there, but like he wasn't doing shit. Like he already can't play D,
Yeah,
and
I know.
he offensively he was useless.
He was
Because
always useless. He was always
that's true.
so he was kind of doing the same things that he was doing before, letting guys go by him that he just reach, and then it's an advantage for the other team. But
I know ownership over there ain't happy with Kyrie for most of the year. So I don't know. Like What's up with his ankle? Like, was it that bad, or could you go out there? Like, that's bad that I'm questioning that, but I really do want to know.
It was a controversial attempt of I think like Giannis went under him when he landed it, and I guess like the whole thing was when you shoot, and this you can probably relate more to this. When somebody closed you out or try to contest your jump shot, did you always feel like they always try to avoid your feet from landing under your feet? Like intentionally contesting your shot and then getting out of the way so they didn't land on you under you? Because that
Uh,
was the thing. They were
well,
saying
not for
that
that one though,
Giannis.
but that was for a layup though. You can't control that. How the hell does he know where you're gonna land?
I know I saw some things that were just saying that this is like what you're supposed to do. Like I guess they were like really Kyrie, heads, but at the same time, like it was a hard for him to kind of get out of the way. He was in the paint, shot in the
Yeah,
paint,
you're
like
in the
yeah,
paint. What am I gonna move so you can land? I don't. You don't think about that when someone's going to the rim. Jump shot's different, but like when you're on the rim, you're contesting or whatever. You're not like, oh, where's my feet?
right.
So I don't.
I agree. No, so I guess what I'm asking is just did you ever realize that defenders would try to purposely not land in your landing space?
Yeah, I think some people are like aware of it. Some people don't give a shit.
We all know a couple of those people who don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
but I don't know. Do you think about it when you close them out? I don't really think about like, oh, make sure I don't go like go under him like the Kawhi Leonard play. Um,
Yeah, I try to be as mindful, especially now when we're older. When I was in college and shit, I probably never really like thought about it like that. But now,
mm,
like if I contest your jumper, like I'm gonna try to make sure I land behind you or like
yeah,
nowhere near landing space. But again, that's all about the Kyrie and because I love Kyrie and I really wanted him to see him play. But that was just something I saw on obviously Twitter that people were just advocating for him and making sure that, he was getting the fair end of the deal here, which is just like he's in the paint. Like he shot a shot in the paint. It happens. It's basketball. It's a road ankle.
yeah.
Um,
Well, all I know is there's all these people putting stats out. He hasn't gotten past the second round since he's left Cleveland.
no, man. I know. Did we talk about the all NBA thing? Did we
No, we
discuss
need to
that?
talk about
Okay,
that.
good. I'm glad. Let's talk about it right now then. Listen,
Yeah,
and I put this on Twitter and I don't think I even deleted it. I got no attraction from it and I don't really care. There's certain guys in the NBA who get an automatic LeBron. Like for their prime years, people get the LeBron treatment. Like LeBron is one in a million. 17 out of 18 years he's been in the league, he's been nominated to a first team, second team, third team All NBA. Right? Are you pulling up the list? I see your eyes rotating.
yes. I wanted to see the first.
All
So
right,
the
good. Look at the list. Look at the
first
list.
team
Go
is
ahead.
Giannis, Kawhi, Steph, Luca, Joker. Who do you take
You
out?
can't argue that. You can't argue that.
I
Anyway, I don't think I
I could argue one.
Steph because he didn't make the playoffs.
No, love Steph. No,
I love Steph. I know what it's
that dude
going.
dragged that shitty ass team into the playoff game. No, yeah,
But if there was
I
no
don't mess
play,
with
but if there
Giannis.
was
I
no,
don't mess with
if there
Giannis.
was no playing, if there was no playing game though, he would have never made the playoffs.
Like
You know what I mean?
I'd have Dame Dollar over Giannis. I just don't mess with Giannis like that. Anyways,
it's gonna
but
be hard to get a
correct.
two-time MVP
No, I
away
know.
from the
I
first
know.
and third
Yeah.
year.
That's just me. That's me personally. But yeah, that's a solid fight. Now the second team is
Go
Julius
ahead.
Randle,
God.
LeBron, Chris Paul, Lillard, Embiid.
And again, this is my argument. I had this argument at Buffalo Wild Wings and another wing spot. LeBron, you're gonna give LeBron.
Which
That's like a Drake feature. Like you put a
yeah.
song in a Drake feature, like it's automatic. It's gonna be platinum.
But see, but I have an issue with that because like I don't. If LeBron played the whole year, he probably would have been first team. Like it's not. Again, this isn't me hating on LeBron. I'm just saying like he missed a substantial amount of games, so
I agree.
it's just
agree.
hard. It's just hard to be like, all right, well, you're second team.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's I with that one with the LeBron selection, I just try to stay away from because there's so many optics to it.
Oh,
There's so many ways you can go from other people. I'm a huge LeBron fan. I'm a lot of people's fan. I'm not really a hater at anyone, really, but it's gonna sound like I'm hating about this person. Chris Paul
No,
averaged
he shouldn't.
he was like
shouldn't be there
14 and
either.
he was like 14-6 or 14-7 to a team who was kind of like already on the and I get it. He got him over the hump. They're about to go to the finals. Like, does CP have a
Hopefully.
big deal? Yeah, hopefully. I'm not trying to jinx him, but with with CP being there, I get that he's like a impact guy, but what's the criteria for all NBA guys? Like, what's the criteria? Because the best player on that team didn't get a bid at all. You feel
No.
what I'm saying? Like Devin Booker
Yes.
was the best, and he's been averaging probably 25. He's 22 years old. He's been in the league how many years? 4 years, 5 years, and he's been averaging 23, 24 plus. You know what I mean? And you mean to tell me that he's not the most important player on the Phoenix Sun team? He is. Chris Paul's not taking DeAndre Ayton, Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Frank Kaminsky. He's not taking these guys to the finals by himself. And that's the thing that everybody's saying. That's what they're making it seem like without Chris Paul, they're not making this huge leap. Guys, I respect Chris Paul. They're not getting to the conference final with just that squad without Devin Booker, period.
No, hold on. They're not there. I'm saying would they get there? And this isn't me arguing. I'm with you on that. He shouldn't be on the second team. But would they get where they are without Chris Paul? I don't think so.
Right. And I think my argument here is what's the criteria for an all NBA guy?
No, there is none. It's politics, dude. Why is Julius Randle on that? You're gonna tell me he's a top 10? Because the way I look at it, it's like, to me, it's like these are the top 15 guys in the league. That's what you're trying to say. Like Julius Randle is not even in the top 40.
No, I agree. Especially after the playoffs, he's not even top 90.
Like, that's crazy to me. And then the third team is Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Bradley Beal, Kyrie, Rudy Gobert. Can we get Rudy Gobert off that list after what happened to him in the playoffs?
I know. It's a regular season award, which sucks. But you could have put so many other people on that second team besides Chris Paul, and people are really arguing about that. First of all, Dame Lillard is second team. That's the point guard in the second team. So why there's 2 point guards in the second team? Again, it's criteria. It's like, what's the criteria? If every other group, if the first team has a point guard and the third team has a point guard, like, why does it have to be 2 point guards? You're making an exception for Chris Paul because you're giving him the LeBron treatment. He's not LeBron worthy. Like, it's LeBron James and then everybody else. Chris Paul's not a part of that. And we talked about him and being like the point guard, one of the best point guards of all time. It's just like they gave him that, bro. They gave him that. You know why? Hold on. Before, because I'm upset. So we were just talking about him. Kyrie Irving was 50, 40, 90, averaging 27 and 6, bro. And in the beginning of the year, Maddie, he was freaking, like, he was MVP worthy. Let's be honest, because KD wasn't playing a lot and James Harden was hurt a lot. Kyrie was carrying those Nets, like putting up 40 balls, 50 balls, 50, 40, 90. Like, it's like the things that are getting like misconstrued and the things that are being like pushed to the side nowadays is ridiculous. Like, you have to literally walk on water to make an impact in this league. 50, 40, 90, 27 and 6 without two MVP.
But here's my thing, Julio, back to what I just said. Like, I just realized Kevin Durant's not on that list. So why is LeBron? They both missed time. Like, Kevin Durant missed a lot of time, so he doesn't deserve to be on there. But so did LeBron.
That's a valid argument.
Yeah, and like Tatum had a great year. Why the hell is he not on one of those teams?
That's what I was gonna say. Donovan Mitchell for like the number 1 team in the West.
Oh, Mitch didn't even make. Yeah, I mean, it's
didn't make anything.
Trey Young. That's what I'm saying. Julius. That's why Julius Randle should not be on that list. Like, and then I'm looking at like the voting. This is I want to know this. Who votes for this shit? Because I think it should be the coaches and the players. I honestly do believe that it should be coach and play. Bro, some 4 dumbasses put Luka on the third team. You think that guy's on the third All NBA team? There was 4 people. I want to know those. I want to know those 4 dudes.
I want some other votes. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what you're looking at.
Jimmy Butler got 7. You know, obviously it's not a lot, but like he was the only guy on the third team. He got 7 first team all vote. Like, why would he be on the first team?
Over those guys. Those guys that you listed in the first group.
Crazy, bro.
It's a political game.
It's so crazy.
And it's so frustrating, man, because like I said, there's a lot of guys in the league who get snubbed even the rookie team. You see the rookie team?
I don't understand this vote. I don't know. I have to look into this vote. Like, Kawhi Leonard got less total points, and he's on the first team. Than Damian Lillard and Joel Embiid got more total votes / points than he did, but they're on the second team. I don't understand how that works. It's stupid. It really is dumb.
It's who they want to be great. It's who they want to be.
I think you and I should pick them.
I think we would have a good list. I think, like you said, it's the top 15 players in the NBA. Julius Randle's not a top 15 player, and to be honest, Chris Paul at 36, he's
No, he's
not.
not. He's not.
He's not top
Not
15 players in
anymore.
the NBA. Exactly, and I love him, point guard, like Hall of Famer, whatever. But you're gonna keep giving him shit. You're gonna keep like
No.
last year. Last year when he was playing with OKC, he was OKC OKC. He was OKC last year. He was second team again. Then he was second team last year too. Like you second team. Almost first team, and they lost in the first round, and then they were like a 6 seed in the West. Like, why are we doing that? Like, what's the criteria?
What's popping?
What's popping with the population? I don't understand. I'm trying to understand because you know why it becomes like that in every other field, high school, college. It all becomes the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is just what the NBA does, the colleges are gonna do, and the high schools are gonna do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like the best player in high school could average 9 points a game, but he's 6'8", 6'9", he's athletic, he's freaky. But I got a 5'11" white kid from the private school who's averaging 22, 23. Like, why is he not the player that, you know what I mean? That's just how it works. It's the eye test. CP, he's 36. His body looks great. He's a vegan. No, he's got to be second team because he brought the Suns to the playoffs. Well, he didn't technically bring the Suns to the playoffs. At the end of last year, the Suns they won 9 straight before they left the bubble. They had Monty. Like they were in good shape, buddy. You could have put Dennis Schroeder in that position, and I probably think they probably would have made a good run too. Like, I'm not trying to knock CP. He's ball dominant. He's a ball. Like, people. Did you see CP last night?
Yeah, no.
You watch it, like he has the ball a lot, bro. Anybody like he throws the lob and he's doing shit. And he, but is he really making the pitch ahead? Is he feeding the post? Is he feeding the post a lot? Is he getting everybody really involved? Like, no, it's like, yo, set a ball screen, I'm coming off the ball screen.
Do you remember who was commentating on the game last night? I couldn't remember who it was.
It's Mike Breen. It's bang. It's that guy.
Okay, in Van Gundy and stuff, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
And
only reason I asked that is one of them made a great point that, like, last night was such a slugfest. No one really shot the ball well. It was like, I think the final score was like 84-80, which is crazy to see a game in today's game being in that low of a score. But I kind of liked it. But he said an interesting thing. It's like, back in the early 2000s, 90s, 80s, when your team was struggling from the field shooting, most of these good teams had a post player you could throw it into and, hey, go get a bucket. None of those teams have that. It was chuck three or drive to the lane, out of control, and throw it up. Like, it's wild to think that, like, DeAndre Ayton's a good player, but
really good.
He can't. You can't just throw it in the post and say, go get a buck.
I agree. But but why not emphasize that, right? Why not?
It's just how the league is, which is sad. Like I told you, Joel Embiid should be in the block every time, man. Like, I hate when he shoots threes and plays on the perimeter. It's like, yeah, like, you space him out. Well, why space someone out when you literally could score whenever you want? Like, I don't know. It's wild. It's crazy. But you think all the greats, they all did it.
Post it up.
Even LeBron, when he was in his prime, did it, started doing it, and I never understood why he's gone away from that.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, because it's all about the sexy, Maddie. It's all about being sexy.
And it's all about the, whatever it's called, the
facade.
The metrics of, what shot threes are better than mid-range twos, all that crap. But
yeah,
I think before we go, we wanted to talk about the last thing we want to talk about was the Scottie Pippen KD thing that was going on.
Oh boy.
And if you don't know, pretty much Scottie Pippen said about KD after they lost in Game 7, he needs to learn how to utilize his teams. He has to learn how to set up his teammates to be better. That's it. He was taking all the shots. You done played the whole game, bro, and they've got guys physically wearing you down. You're gonna lose. He also said, comparing him to like LeBron, that LeBron's kind of like a smarter player who wouldn't attempt that game-tying shot at all. He ain't gonna take that shot. He's gonna be smarter. He's gonna force a double team. That's what KD wasn't able to do. He was so exhausted he couldn't even go to the bucket. So he said that, and then Durant, who's the Twitter king over here, said that
I love him.
Didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go in the game before for the last second shot because he was in his feelings and his coach showed up play for a better shooter. This guy Scott also wanted to enjoy his summer, so he chose to rehab during the season. Yo, Scottie Pippen, they fouled Phil, not you.
What do you think
So
about that? I mean, it's
I
raw.
think
It's raw content.
I think you know if I'm in KD's shoes, I'm probably not that petty. Like I don't really care what Scottie Pippen has to say in the
I
sense
agree.
of that's his job now. But what he says is pretty accurate. Scottie Pippen did do that, and that was a terrible look. I think what Scotty's saying isn't like terribly wrong, but I'm like, who else would KD's not LeBron. KD is a scorer. LeBron passes in those situations because that's what he's good at. LeBron ain't shooting shots to tie the game, bro. Like that's my always criticism when people try to compare LeBron and MJ is I say LeBron's a different player than MJ. LeBron ain't a killer. Like LeBron ain't MJ got the ball, you knew he was gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't feel that way about LeBron. Like I think LeBron's going to make the right basketball play. I do because he has incredible IQ. But KD's taking. Who else would you want to take that shot? Was it a bad shot? Yeah. I mean, he definitely was wore down. But who else is he going to give the rock to?
Yeah, I don't want no one else shooting that. Why
I'm
would I have
going. I'm
everyone?
going down with KD shooting like that. And if I was on the LeBron plane too, I'd rather him. What you're gonna pass to an open guy, or you gonna make, especially if it's 1-on-1, like if they double, because people think, oh, MJ pass, yeah, you get doubled, like you make the right play. But if it's 1-on-1, come on, bro, go get the bucket. But I just think it's the world we live in now with the tweeting and stuff, and um, I don't know if you want to talk about kind of what you did on Twitter to that guy that was saying. I mean, that was kind of crazy what that dude said.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on what you were saying, I'm obviously searching the internet, I'm looking around, I'm seeing what's going on. This guy, and I get out, we're not trying to do a podcast battle between other people, but he made a comment about Scottie Pippen being equivalent to Andre Iguodala. Like, I granted, Scottie Pippen's probably drinking bourbon, smoking, cigars, and doing shit on his free time because he's a millionaire. He doesn't have to worry about much. He can just say what he wants, whatever. He's tripping. Obviously, Pippen's tripping. But don't disrespect Scottie Pippen, man. Like, even if you haven't seen him play, you haven't seen him play in Portland. You haven't seen him play with the Bulls, obviously. But like, yo, you have Netflix. Go watch The Last Dance, bro. Like, you would know what he was doing. He's not no Joe Schmo. Don't compare him to Andre Iguodala. This guy was like saying the most disrespectful stuff about Scottie Pippen because he was trying to compare him, like skill wise, to guys like Paul George, or guys to skill wise of Carmelo Anthony, and he was saying it in a disrespectful manner, as if like these guys are out of their fucking mind. And excuse me, I'm trying not to curse this time around. I'm trying to get better, but like he was saying shit like that, Maddie. That was just, man, like do your research, homie. Like don't just be on the internet watching shit and watching highlights. Like do your research, man. We're talking about Scottie Pippen. Like,
Yeah.
with Scottie, like this is like he guarded Magic Johnson full court.
Oh, he's arguably one of the best defenders of all time. So,
But like he was saying, he wasn't in the best small forward category.
he's tripping.
So he said Paul George. He said Carmelo Anthony.
I'm sorry.
Grayson
If
McGrady.
you honestly think that Paul George is a better small forward than Scottie Pippen, you are tripping. You are. It's the whole thing of like, oh well, he played with the greatest player of all time. So
Yeah,
he helped the greatest player of all time win 6 championships.
they don't win without Scottie.
No,
they don't win without MJ. Like it's like
MJ legit said that. That's why they're the best duo of all time. Like you can't. It's recency bias, or we live in this thing where it's like, oh, I like Melo and all that, but like, come on, bro, Scottie Pippen is better than Melo. Like, and not in scoring, but as a all around basketball. It's crazy when I have to like break it down because like I forgot who said this.
Break it down.
No, but I forgot who said this to me. I was like, oh yeah, he's a great two-way player, and then someone was like, I think it was Coach Santacola. He's like, what do you mean a two-way player? You mean a basketball player? It's funny that we have to like say that now. Oh, he's the best two-way guard in the league.
Yeah, he's the best 3-and-D guy.
All of a sudden, like what? We have guys that only play one side of the court. Like basketball is, you play offense, you play defense. Like why are you not a two-way guy? Why isn't everybody a basketball player? So that's why I say like, Scottie Pippen, how is he not top whatever? I mean, I think he's a top 20, 30 player of all time, but in small forward category, he has to. I mean, what other guy has defended the way he has? You talk about offense. I don't really give a shit about that, but like he could score too. I don't know. He played with MJ, so it was like
it goes back to our saying about criteria, right?
Yeah,
it's
it
about
is.
it's like, what's the criteria? Like, what do you consider a small forward? What do you like? What does a small forward have to do to be a small forward? Like what? Like, so he's comparing. So the one of the names he threw out was Tracy McGrady. I was like, okay, I guess like Tracy McGrady was explosive. He was fun to watch, but he didn't defend. Did he win? You know what I mean? Like, was he a great leader? Did he
No,
do these
great
things?
talent.
Great talent, but it's just like, Carmelo Anthony. Like, did he win?
Great talent.
Did he defend? Not really. So it's just
No.
like Scottie Pippen. In regards to small forwards, we can say that he's probably the most complete small forward. We should just say that
He was
because
like
we can't just be like, oh,
Scottie
scoring.
Pippen took that. I'm not saying I'm not saying he's LeBron. I'm saying he played that LeBron role, like that point forward. He transcended that. So I don't know. It's just people get disrespectful. I mean, I think what he said about KD was harsh, but could be possibly fair. But KD really had no one to pass to. I'd take when KD missed that shot. I was like, yeah, that was a bad shot. But
I go down with KD missing.
I mean, the dude literally put you on your back. I don't know. It's just fun. It's just funny how these people get like one thing happens and the next thing you know you're comparing Scottie Pippen to Iguodala. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
You're
and
bored.
I hate,
He's bored.
And I hate
He's
that.
bored.
And I hate that shit because Iguodala won that MVP that year, Finals MVP. Like, oh, well, he won it because he was shutting down LeBron. LeBron averaged like 38 in that series. So what are we talking about here? Like, he didn't shut down LeBron, dude.
That's for the average basketball fan, man.
It's wild. That's just wild to me. Like, how can you say
What do you
this
call
dude,
that? What kind of fan do you call that? That's like somebody who's not really like watching, but they're kind of just like what kind of fan is that?
I don't.
There's
I get
a
what
name
you're
for it.
saying. It's not fair weather because fair weather is like when you talk about your own team. It's just like it's the typical NBA fan that's just like just tuning in. They don't watch everything. They look at stats. That's why I say I hate stats because it doesn't tell the whole story.
All right.
So
I agree. No, I mean, I guess to close it with a statement here. I mean, just do your homework, right? Like watch basketball. Like, don't just go on HD highlights after a game.
Yeah.
Watch the game. I had 18 wings last night watching the game,
18?
enjoying it. Buffalo Blue with a little ranch dip. But actually watch the game, like try to break it down and then do more research. Just research because right now you're just like everybody else on the internet. They're just making like basketball, like they're disrespecting the game. It's just that's just disrespectful to talk about Scotty like that. Don't be disrespectful. And I will end it on that.
Oh, it's just you do that shit to get clicks too. To say stupid.
I clicked.
Stuff. We'll never do that stuff on the show. But I think my final point is I saw that the NBA wants to get rid of like non-basketball like kind of movement fouls. Like, you see that? Next year they want to focus on like getting rid of the like the swing through. That's a foul. Like all like non-basketball plays that like people they call fouls on. And I'm like, they better, because sometimes this shit's unwatchable. I really can't. I have a hard time watching some of the shit they call. It's wild. Like,
especially the swing through. The swing through is annoying.
Please just go back to letting guys hand check and play more physical. Like, I hate the way it's played. It's like honestly sickening. And get rid of the video replays. Like, game 2 of the Clippers Suns took literally 35 minutes for that final like 2 minutes. It was ridiculous. And then last night they go to the monitor to look at some out of bounds call. And last night they didn't. And Van Gundy was like, well, that ball was off. I forgot who the hell was dribbling. It was it Cam?
Campaign? Was it when
I think
when it went out of bounds?
Yeah, when
they didn't reverse it?
Yeah, they didn't go look at it. And I was just like,
it.
But see, here's the thing. Like, they should have went to look at it only because they did it in game 2, which in game 2 they shouldn't have looked at it. And last night, I don't think they need to go look at that. Let the ref what's the point of having a ref if every call you make, you can go to the video replay? It's like, what are we doing?
You're talking about in game 2 where Dev Booker dribbled it out and they went back to it and they called out of bounds on him. Yeah, I remember that. It kind of changed like a little bit of the game, even though they won. It can change a whole flow of the game.
I know.
I do hate it.
Let the ref call it, like, unless it's so bad that like unless it's such a bad call. Like last night, I would have called if I'm reffing that live. I'm calling that ball off. Whoever on the Clippers hit it out because bang bang play like that looked like he hit the ball. Now, if you go on a video replay and slow it down, yeah, he might have hit it, and the campaign would possibly could have been the last one to touch it. But it's like, why are we doing that? Like, why are we doing that, man? Just what's the point? It's the human element, of refereeing.
I guess, and I guess we keep saying we're gonna end it here, but I want to hear again. That's what I was talking about. How the NBA is just making it like easy for other avenues to copy, like college and high school. I saw a kid in the AAU go like this to look at him playing out, to go like this because I guess their AAU team was like recording the game. So he was like, oh, yo, we got it on camera. Look, like, man, stop it. Like,
that's crazy.
It was a 1240 consolation game. Like when no one's gonna be reviewing the 1240, like the finger wave, like
dude,
like,
that is honestly that kid should have been put on the bench for a 5-minute penalty.
Yeah, man,
bro, you want to review it?
I think like he was like whoever was recording it was just like what? Like what do you mean review it? Like
if I was reffing that game, I would have looked at the kid and be like, yeah, hold on, let me go to the box, and I would have went like this. If you can see me, and I've just been like, yep, oh yeah, right call.
It's just like make the call, like you said, make the call and go with it. It is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is. All right, great talk as usual. It was a great refreshing segment that we
good
needed.
To be back. Good to be back.
It's good to be back. We got some more guests coming up this week, so be on the lookout for that, guys. T-shirts on the way soon. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to us on our email or our DMs. And yeah, I'm excited, man. Let's take this over. Let's really make sure the summer ends right.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're out of here.
Hey, just stay true to yourself. And if nobody wanna help you, you can do it yourself. And if you live and impress others, it's how you losing yourself. And if you keep on running back, you just abusing yourself. Damn, I pray to God that you find your way. And when times is good, don't forget to pray. And be thankful for all the blessings that seem to come your way, cause that's how more come to you. That's all I had to say.